Hi guys, welcome back to the Bookbinders. Today we are doing...
doing the finale episode of our current series, Did You Know There's a Tunnel Under Ocean Boulevard? Analysis of all songs, and now we've reached the culmination episode where we will be connecting the dots for everything.
So much connecting.
So much connecting and so much to go over. This is really, really exciting that we're coming to the end of this series, and I'm so excited to share it with you guys.
Yeah, we haven't been... I mean, it feels like so much work, and it has been so much work.
Yeah, it has been so much time, but I think now we're kind of speeding through it, which is kind of insane because, you know, I feel like it was supposed to be a long, short process, and now we're finally done with it, so...
When did we start? Did we start spring break?
I believe, the week before spring break, and then we didn't do anything spring break.
Yeah.
There were a lot of, technical issues and stuff.
Food poisoning.
Yeah. But then, now we're back. Now we're back, you guys. So, and we're back better than ever.
Yes. So,
all right.
Where do we even start?
Where do we start? Great question. Let's start with the whole. I mean, let's go track by track and kind of explain this story. And let's start with the grants.
All right.
So
what
I mean,
rankings?
You guys can go and see our personal analysis on each song, what we thought about it, and overall as a song individually.
Yeah.
And then additionally, we're going to be talking about each song in context to the whole story. So, I mean, regarding the grants, I rated this a 5 out of 10, and I stand with my rating here.
Me too. I have 5 out of 10 for song. 7 out of 10 for analysis, and then a 6 as the overall average.
Nice. I didn't even do it like that. I just did it for the whole song.
I averaged the analysis and the song rankings.
Okay. That makes sense.
And then that went to an average for the album.
Okay. Good way of doing it. That's a good way of doing it. Once again, our first impressions of the grants included... Well, do you want to talk about first impressions?
First impression?
Well, we kind of already went over
covered
this
that
in our previous video, so if you'd like to know our real first impressions, go back and watch those videos to see our first impressions and everything we had to say about this beautiful, beautiful song. It is one of our latest video. So in the context of the story, let's talk about the overall album. So before we kind of get into grants, so we don't confuse you guys, the overall theme of this album, Did You Know There's a Tunnel Under Ocean Boulevard, is, starting with the TB cast kind of thing, is about going into a metaphorical tunnel, like the tunnel in Long Beach, which is what she's referring to with Tunnel Under Ocean Boulevard. Yeah.
So the title, I mean, it's a question. So why do you think that she chose that to be the title?
Well, I feel can we talk about that question part at the end?
Because, let's talk about the question
because I feel it contextually fits towards the end. If you know what I mean. So, I mean, from here, we can jump into the grants. Would you like to start for us?
All right. Well, grants, if you heard our full analysis, it's very much about memories and carrying memories with you, technically into death.
Yeah.
Is the point of the song. In this case, well, it would be the death of Lana Del Rey, as we've been talking about for our entire series, except for the first few. And this, in my whole storyline, is her preparing to enter the tunnel and saying goodbye and sort of figuring out what she's going to carry with her to the other side.
So I think in context of the story, I kind of viewed it in the same way. So her preparing to get into the tunnel, yada yada. However, this song is, once again, her taking memory of her family members who have died. And I think while she gets into the tunnel, she's believing that, I am either going to commit suicide. Because, once again, this is a closed-off tunnel. This tunnel was once beautiful. This tunnel is no longer beautiful. It's closed off now. So I think by her driving fast in this tunnel, almost Ride by Lana Del Rey.
She's driving for you.
Well, she's driving for me. She's not just walking through the tunnel. I feel like she's going fast through it, and it's a speed, a supercut of everything. So I kind of viewed it as this supercut kind of image, and so she's driving through this tunnel to reach this dead end, and commit suicide. Like, she's going in there to find a dead end and then just perish at the dead end. So that's the idea in my mind of what this whole thing is almost portraying to me. And by it, like, she's taking these memories and she believes she's going to heaven now. And so she's taking with her these memories while going into the tunnel with the idea that she's going to die at the end of the tunnel.
Interesting.
Yeah.
In my analysis, she knows that the point is not to die. The point is to change and become this Lizzie Grant. Well,
see, I feel like that's where I have this character development moment where she's like there's like a turning point in
when it stops being about death and
starts being about change. But we're gonna get into that. And no spoilers for you guys. It's like a story. It's
exactly. I wrote here like, here's my story. Like that's part of the title analysis. But what was I saying? A story. In mine, she's very much walking. It's interesting that we.
Why is she walking? Is there like a reason why she's
walking? Because like that's, if you go slower, you can take in the beautiful mosaic that she talks about. Okay. And in my analysis, like, the mosaic is showing her life, and she is gonna like walk through her life, through the phases of her life in the tunnel, and it's very much like A Christmas Story, Charles Dickens type sort of thing. And so she walks to take her time with everything.
See, I think the reason that I primarily viewed it as this, the reason why I primarily viewed it as a kind of like, as more of a driving is because we see Lana driving a lot. Like, in Kentro's Through Country Club, she's driving a red car, and they're in his white Pontiac heaven, like Dive Banadoo, that's a car, right? And like a lot of parts, like Honeymoon, there's a car. Ultraviolence, there's a car. So I feel like
Born to Die has a car.
Born to Die, a car. So every single place, I feel like cars almost accelerate, and I think that's the point. It's to not emphasize on every single small moment, but rather just to see this one huge, large supercut, and to like take in that whole thing. So no analysis is like particularly wrong, even though we disagree with each other. But I think both could definitely be valid based on our own personal interpretation, which is what we are trying to convey to you guys as our listeners.
Exactly.
So that's Grants. Grants is not as long as for me the next track, title track.
Yeah, title track.
So start us off.
Well, I have this as like the moment of entering the tunnel. I think when you talked about it before, you said something similar, if I remember correctly.
Yes, so this is the moment of entering the tunnel.
And that's where the whole "don't forget me" part comes into play. Because regardless of whether you analyze this as she's gonna change her identity or she's going to die, there's still a whole part that's like, don't forget Lana Del Rey wherever it is.
Yeah, precisely.
Lana Del Rey is gonna die regardless of the outcome of the tunnel.
Yeah, I agree. So that's precisely pretty much what I said. So a tunnel, especially that tunnel, which is closed off, implies that she's secluding herself. She is closing herself off, and she doesn't want anyone to experience the pain like directly that she will be experiencing upon her perish inside of the tunnel. So here she's just like saying, don't forget Lana Del Rey, but she goes away into the tunnel and she's quite corrupted and she's like destroyed. Like, she feels like she's been destroyed, and that's what leads her to having to go in this tunnel. She almost feels forced to go into the tunnel, and she like relives these moments. She says, she starts talking about she starts like telling her fans, and I feel like at some point she's like telling her fans to come and save her, because she feels like there's like this, she has like she's very reliant on her fans to come and save her. She believes like, oh, these guys will save me, right? Like, you'll save me, like, don't forget me. When's it gonna be my turn? When's it gonna be my turn for you to see me? So she's like, come save me. I'm telling you exactly where I am. Like, did you know there's a tunnel under Ocean Boulevard? She is telling everyone exactly where she is, how to find her, how to save her. And then she goes to talk about Lizzie, which is almost foreshadowing the fact that like, there's a girl that sings Hotel California. So it's kind of foreshadowing the fact that everything is going to like flashback for her, and that's going to be like a becoming of Lanita, who she will end up being in the end.
Yeah. The point about her being broken is exactly, like, that's what I also said, because a lot of the songs, I know we analyzed them with, like, whole storyline with Jimmy and whatnot, but if you take them to their core, which is very much what I did, and like take the raw lessons that she's talking about,
that's kind of
it's like a flashback walking through her life to almost find out why she ended up so broken.
I agree. That's definitely a lot of what this concept album is trying to tell us here. It's supposed to be a flashback into, like, I feel like it's very informative at this point. It's just, it's not even like, see, at the first part in this title track, she tells them to save her. But as we go through the story, we're going to see Lana almost stop relying on her fans, stop believing in them, and stop believing that they're ever on her side. And that's going to end up in Lana just becoming even more corrupted than when she started, which is kind of, like, insane. Like, right now she feels, like, burnt out or lost, but in the end she's just going to feel, like, straight out neglected. That's my take on it.
Interesting. I could definitely see that. That makes a lot of sense, especially for the songs that come towards the end.
Yep. Okay. Okay, we should also mention our ratings of the song now after analyzing all songs. This is 7 out of 10 for me.
11?
7.
Oh, 7. I said 7.5 out of 10. Through the whole.
Okay. I can see that.
Averaging system. Because the analysis is what brought it up. Because I think that the both of us did pretty well in terms of how we analyzed it. And that's really how I was ranking analysis.
Okay.
Like, not, well, at least for this song, it's not about the story, it's about how well we did. Other ones, when the story is just not compelling, it's lower because of that. But yeah, I would say overall 7.5.
Okay. Next track. Sweet.
So,
Sweet. Okay.
This was
ahead.
Our first?
This was kind of hard, I feel like.
I think this was our first.
This was our second, because we did Fish Shell first. Remember?
Did we record Sweet first, though? I think we were...
No, we posted Sweet first, but we recorded...
I thought we recorded Sweet Part 1 first.
Did we?
I think so.
Oh, you might be right. You might be right about that.
Anyways, this was a long time ago.
Yeah, this was a while back. Quite a while back. Back in, like, March or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead and start us off.
All right,
what
so
did you think
the whole thing about Sweet is very much, like, innocence. That was what my analysis basically could be summed up as, innocence.
Okay.
And this, like I said, not taking into account the whole storyline of Sweet, just the raw ideas in Sweet. This is, like, her childhood. So the whole tunnel is, like, walking back through her life. This is her childhood with that innocence. And we see that it disappears very, very quickly. At least for Lana Lizzie, Lana, whatever. It's going to go away within one song. But yeah, Sweet is, like, that's the starting point of walking back through the memories, starting with innocent childhood. Okay,
for Sweet, I kind of went all over the place, but going off of what you said, I think it's a lot about innocence as well. And she talks about a lover. She talks about a lover in this story, and she seems very much in love. And I feel like, despite that you said it's innocence, I don't think she was very young in this story. I think it was more about her current lover, the person that she was loving right before she went in the tunnel. So I feel like in the previous song, she talked about calling out to her fans to come and find her. But when she loses hope in her fans after the previous song, she turns to her lover. She asks her lover to come find her.
Oh, yeah.
And her lover, well, I mean, do you want to say it?
No, I was just saying, like, in the song, that's what she does say.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
See that analysis.
Like, you should come and find me in Genesis. So she, and technically she's not asking her lover to find her. I know I just contradicted myself, but let me explain. Okay, so when she tells her lover to find her, she directs her lover to multiple places. She says, come and find me in the north,
in the sweet north country.
Yeah, in the sweet north country, Genesis. She talks about various locations. And so she's telling her lover to find her in multiple places that she's been in her life, to kind of understand her story. So not to technically find her, but to find closure after her death. And that's why she asks him the question in, like, the middle of the song, like, do you think about us? Do you like want to marry me? Do you want to run marathons in Long Beach by the sea? Almost in a longing way, like one last long for your love. Like, did you ever really love me? Did you ever really care for me? I need to know if like you had these dreams about us too, and I'm gonna destroy them all now. So I need to know that you were not set on a relationship like you'd always been. So it's almost like this, like ending the relationship in this like ethereal way, because she also says sweet and bare feet, which reminds me of an angel. And I mean, that's kind of what she's saying, like, I'm going to become an angel now, like I'm done with like earth or whatever. And then she says like, you can find me where no one else can be, and like that's basically in death, like she says like in the valley, in the woodside, in the valley. Hold on, let me look at the lyrics.
In the heart of a valley.
Yeah, hold on. I'm going to find the lyrics. One second. They are somewhere in this book.
In the woods somewhere.
In the valley.
In the heart of a valley, something like that.
Fishtail. No, sweet must have been in my other book.
Yeah, I think it was.
It's definitely not here. But it's okay. It's okay. It's fine. You get the point, right?
Yeah.
So Sweet is like calling out to her lover to come and find her, but her lover's not there, and her lover, like, she's like tracing back, tracing fingertips over plastic bags. Next. Oh wait, we never set our ratings for this song. Overall ratings.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Sweet 7.
Okay, for me 8.9. I rated this so high, and I actually do really like this song.
It used to be much higher for me, and then it was one of those songs that sort of got boring.
For me, Sweet will be like one of those like classic cute Disney songs.
Yeah, it's not that I don't like it. It's just like,
yeah, it gets boring.
I've listened to it a lot.
Yeah,
a lot, because I was obsessed with it, and when we were analyzing, like, I listened to it
all
day, every day. That's the only thing I listened to, because
wow,
I just wanted to, like, I don't know, drown myself in Sweet.
Yeah.
So now it's like boring. Not boring, just like I've heard it too much.
Yeah, I definitely get that. Okay, shall we move on to
A and W?
Okay, A and W.
So we never really analyzed this.
Yeah, we never really talked about it.
Because it's a bit
has
mature.
some more really mature content.
Themes, yeah.
For our PG-13 rating. But let's get into what as an overview. This song was about Lana Del Rey being a total nymphomaniac.
Yeah, like, I remember my one word when we analyzed it, and this was even before we had a podcast.
Yeah.
My one word was addicted.
My one word was nymphomaniac.
So basically, they're the same thing.
I said addicted to XYZ, and you said addicted.
I meant addicted to
XYZ.
Yeah, but
yeah,
I just said addicted.
So, I mean, the song is such a beautiful song, first of all.
Yes.
It's one of the most amazing songs I've ever analyzed, because it has so much depth in it. And it has this more sadder part in the beginning, I think about like 7 minutes. No, not 7 minutes. I think 5 or 6 minutes long. And it's like this fishtail fingertips kind of, no, not fishtail, fingertips kind of like sad moment.
Yeah, it, like, if you look at the lyrics, it definitely is. It doesn't sound like it.
Yeah.
Like, you have to look to find, which is symbolic in and of itself.
Yeah, it is. And so in that little part of that song, it talks a lot about Lana's struggles of when she was young, and she had like nymphomaniac like qualities and behaviors, and then as she got older, she was scared of being in love again. At least that was my analysis for it.
Yeah, that was my analysis too. The whole past of getting into being a nymphomaniac.
Yeah. And then transition.
Not by her own choice necessarily, just sort of like that's where she ended up.
Yeah.
And then she was so scared of love that she ruined relationships almost subconsciously. Like, your mom called, I told her.
Yeah, and she, like, because of her own past trauma, she inflicted that onto other people through her anger. So, like we talked about in Sweet, she was talking about her current love. She was telling her love to find her. And then I think A and W, because she's talking about her current love, it almost flashes back, like that memory of that person not finding her flashes back to her previous love, which is what happens in A and W. So in A&W, she starts talking about how she like loved lots of people, but she was a nymphomaniac, so technically she didn't really love anyone. She was just obsessed with, you know, the stuff that she was able to achieve with them. And I don't know how to explain it.
That was so good. I love how formal that sounded.
yeah. I don't really know how to explain it in like a non-formal way. I'm trying to explain it in the most like adequate formal way.
Yeah.
But and then she kind of like she got scared of love, and I think she rejuvenated her love for love with Sweet. So it's like flashing back to everything that broke her down, and that's the reason she treats her current love so harshly. Like the Jimmy Coco Buff part is like the part where she can't fall back in love, but then she really does fall in love with Jimmy, and then Sweet comes together. If that makes sense. Okay, talk about your thing.
So, like I said, I was not taking the storylines of the things into play, really, just the raw ideas of the story. Because we know that Lana Del Rey is a writer, right?
Yeah.
So she can craft these stories, and then they work together using the ideas in sort of like a... I almost said friendship bracelet, like something woven, like it weaves together to make a story.
Yeah.
So in this, the whole main thing is like nymphomania, but it's addiction.
Yeah.
And I think that if we take Sweet as like childhood because of its innocence, the thing that came next in Lana Del Rey's life was her addiction.
Okay.
And her like alcoholism and depression and all basically her teenage years up until I'm not even sure when.
Yeah, whatever. Lana's almost 40 now, which is insane to think
my
about.
god, really?
Yeah, she is.
I didn't know that.
She's almost like 35, 36. So she's almost 40 at this point, which is very insane to think about. It's unfathomable. But she's more beautiful than ever. So we love her so much.
But the whole thing is like, this is... Yeah. Because she's walking through the stages of her life. This is the next stage.
Yeah, I can definitely
chronologically
see that. Like,
in Lana Del Rey.
It definitely fits in really well because either way, it is the next stage.
Yeah.
But then I feel like that also, like, I mean, even though I said a flashback, I feel like it pertains to the next stage, and that's almost the message that it's conveying here.
Yeah, totally. So that's how it works in for me. As she's walking through her life. Yeah. It goes innocence, addiction.
Right? Oh, okay.
In Lana Del Rey's life chronologically. And since this whole tunnel is about transformation and perhaps even going back to what she was, or at the very least finding out how she got to where she is, then that's the process in my analysis.
I think you're saying, what you're saying about all of it is like finding who she is, but really for me it was just all about death. So when you experience death, it's like a light at the end of the tunnel, right? That's what people describe it as. And I feel like that's what she's seeing here. Like, there is no light at the end of the tunnel. So all she's left with is this suicide, the self-suicide. Suicide is bad, basically. And that's the whole point of it to me. So instead of finding anything, she's not even looking for anything. All she's looking for is to die. And that's kind of the point with this. Like, at this point, she's not looking for anything at all in my analysis. All she's looking for is to be done with life. Because she's so fed up. And we'll see why she's fed up. Because nobody seems to care for her. Her lover ditched her. Her lover didn't find her in Sweet. And then in A&W, she's, like, thinking about all the things that she did wrong. She was a nymphomaniac for the wrong... Like, she loved people for the wrong reasons because she was a nymphomaniac. And then... after that, she like wasn't able to give people what they needed, like in a love relationship anymore either. Is there anything else we want to talk about, or should we talk about our rating?
Okay. I think we talked about how we worked it in, so I think we should talk about our rating now.
Okay. So, go ahead.
I mean, the song, 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Like, so
10 out of 10, guys. 10 out of 10 song. 2 10s. This song is amazing. Go listen to it right now if you've never listened to A&W. Go.
It's so good.
Run. Don't run. Run. Go run. Okay. Interlude.
run to you. Oh, an interlude. The first interlude.
First interlude. This is a very long interlude.
Okay,
though.
so we didn't talk about first impressions of A&W. It's fine. We know. That we loved
you guys know. Well, okay, we'll talk about it because we hadn't talked about it before, right?
We loved it.
I think the first time I listened to A&W, there was like this timestamp thing or something, and I was like, oh yeah, I live for this part in like the comments, and I clicked on it, which was a mistake because I should have listened to the whole song myself and then enjoyed the whole thing. But no, I was greedy and hasty, and then I heard the Jimmy part, and I was like obsessed with it, and then I listened to the whole thing, and I was like, this song is too good, and then I got addicted to the song, just like Lana Del Rey got addicted to stuff. So yeah.
My first impression was, I think it came from you. I think I got like rapid WhatsApp messages like, oh my god, go listen to A&W. And I was like, oh, is it about root beer? Interesting.
Yeah, I remember you said that.
And then I was like,
oh,
I basically phased out. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Spaced out for the almost entire intro beginning part.
Yeah.
Staring at the like picture, the background picture on the video.
Yep.
I was like, this is so interesting. How does this relate to root beer?
Yeah.
And then I read the comments and realized it was not root beer.
It was
something else.
An epic song.
But then I got to the Jimmy part and I was like, wow, this is so
the
cool.
Jimmy part.
The beat drop on the
beat
Jimmy part.
drop, the like
where it goes from slow and then suddenly it's just like, yeah.
Yeah, I love that. That's so good. That's my everything now. Now that that's out of the way, do you want to talk about the interlude?
So yes, so we can do first impressions of the interlude, I guess.
Okay, I remember that I was listening to the whole album sequentially, and I was just
me
like,
too.
no, I don't want to listen to people screaming.
The first time I ever heard the interlude fully was actually today, as I was analyzing it.
Oh my god!
Because I remember when I was listening to the album, I was like, oh, that's a cool name for a song.
Yeah.
Interlude, and then it was just like some guy preaching, and I was, no.
Anyway, there's a lot of stuff said in the first interlude, and we could have definitely wrote this whole thing down and analyzed it as this whole separate thing.
I was about to, and then I got like 1/4 of the way through, and there were still some words.
I think it was quite boring, but there's a lot of stuff to analyze for that. And I think I wasn't super interested in analyzing like religious stuff.
Yeah,
because it's a lot to do with the like Christian religion, and I was just uninterested in like analyzing the whole thing. So I just like took a sentence out of it and like created this sentence kind of thing.
Yeah, basically I was doing a similar thing where instead of analyzing the full thing, I was like any sentence that stood out to me as like what this thing seems to be about, I would write it down and then work together with those, because there's a lot of like random anecdotes that I don't really think apply. I mean, they do apply, but not in a major way.
Yeah, like we should just focus on like one main idea, like we're doing with everything else. So I mean, why don't you talk about your main idea that you kind of collected from this?
All right, so I'll talk about the main idea from the full thing, and then I'll talk about how it fits in the story. Well, then you can share yours.
Yeah, and then we'll go like that. Okay, let's do it.
So like, for the whole thing, I started writing it down. It was absolutely ridiculous. It's very much about change.
Okay.
In the story of the interlude, it's this pastor dude's change from lust to love again. Almost a reversion back to the pure love of before, which is a theme that I think very much applies to the whole album, if it is to be taken in the context of returning back to Lizzie Grant, or at least in some way, returning back to Lizzie Grant. So there's a part where he's like, help me want what I got, help me love what's in front of me. And he's asking God to improve him. But in this, I think it's almost like Lana's hearing this sermon, and then she takes it and applies it to her own situation. So she's asking, well, in this case, asking God, but not necessarily. She's just like, her plan is to help herself. Whoa, lost my train of thought. Help herself go back to being Lizzie Grant. Instead of going back to love, she's going back to Lizzie.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. That definitely fits in really well with the whole thing.
Yeah.
Mine, I didn't really see, because the moment I read it, I was like, I know exactly what this is. And I mean, in context of my story. So I feel like this is Jimmy speaking. Okay? And the thing about it is it's perfect that it came right after A&W, because there's this part where he's like, oh yeah, you're in love with your neighbor or something, and there's a line in A&W where she's like, sneaks out the back door to talk to me, which really reminds me of this neighbor kind of relationship thing where Jimmy sneaks out the back door to come to Lana's house. Like, they have their little fling and he has like his infidelity or whatever. And that's almost what it's trying to convey here, that like Jimmy is just as much corrupted as Lana. So we get that POV from Jimmy to kind of understand that it's not just like, along with the fact that Lana is going through this corruption, that she's not only corrupted herself, but she's also corrupted other people, which almost gives like this supporting detail as to why Lana is in this tunnel. She's blaming herself for all like the misfortune that she's brought, air quotes, that she's brought onto like other people. Like, she thinks she's at fault, which is why she's adding this anecdotal part where she's like, here are some of the evidences of why I think I'm committing suicide, like why I think I'm gonna die now, and like why I deserve to die. So I feel like she's like supporting it with this Jimmy quotation here.
Interesting. That makes a lot of sense.
I tried.
Yeah. And it does work in very well with your analysis. For mine, it was like working into the story of the tunnel. This is just her like taking the advice that she learned from her pastor. This is because the interludes, they both sound very hazy, like memories. And so she's just like taking this memory of something she heard about like changing yourself and improving yourself and carrying it into the tunnel with her. And like she looks at her past and then she's like, okay, here, I'm gonna transition to something new and better, just like I heard about.
Well, I feel like in the context of that, I mean, since it's like so hazy, I feel like Lana's hearing this through her own window and like in Jimmy's house, because I feel like this is not a conversation between Jimmy and his own wife, like that he's doing the infidelity on, like he's having this infidelity with Lana, but you know, like I feel like the wife is the victim of that. And so the wife is screaming at him. He's trying to like understand. He's like trying to say like, I am corrupted. She corrupted me. It's her fault. And Lana is like, it is my fault. Like, Lana's not even like defending herself. She knows it's her fault at this point, and that's why she entered the tunnel. So like, this is like a supporting detail for me. Just like, it's like one of those like little supporting detail moments.
Yeah. Evidence,
precisely. Do we want to do ratings for the interludes?
I didn't rate the interludes.
I did not rate them either. I just didn't like the interludes because there was a lot of screaming. I'm not a big fan of screaming.
I don't like screaming, and it's not like dealer screaming necessarily either. It was just like, I don't even know.
It's a lot of like angry fighting in relationships, which I'm not a fan of either.
And then like aggressive preaching.
Yeah, and aggressive preaching.
I'm not a church person. Right?
Me neither. So we'll leave that out of this. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So we won't. So we just take it for the meeting. And so next we have Candy Necklace.
Candy Necklace. Okay.
So, well, how does this work for you? Do you want to...
Okay, this is a bit slow. Why don't you go first, actually?
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay.
Don't doubt me.
Okay. So for the... Interesting. The one word... I don't know, it just turned on randomly. The one word or phrase that I had to describe this from before was deliciously toxic.
Oh, okay.
Which is so... So it sounds like something someone wrote to review a Netflix show.
Oh, deliciously interesting. Deliciously toxic.
But that's how I would describe the relationship.
Deliciously interesting.
Yeah, that's how I would just describe the relationship in Candy Necklace. Deliciously toxic. Because it's toxic, but it's also like candy parts. So how it works into the whole storyline is that after she's walking through her life, right? So at some point she changed. Well, like she's carrying with the memory of the change, and it's like the placement is a little bit weird, but it does make sense if you're like walking through your thoughts. Right. You're thinking about your memories, and then you're like, okay, I'm gonna take these memories and take the lessons that I learned. This lesson that I learned, and then it's all sort of like going into this mixing pot. Right. My analogies are all over the place. Okay. And then Candy Necklace is yet another memory of like what she experienced before. This is almost a facet of the addiction. Yeah. In a way. not as severe as we see in A and W, but she is like obsessed in the song. It's not love yet.
Yeah.
Which is very much why I think that it's a memory to not, like, right after the A and W time period, when she's still trying to learn to love again.
Yeah, so obviously this is a memory for me too. And of course, yeah, she's trying to learn to love again, which is what we saw in A and W.
To love again.
Yeah. And in this part, she talks about her life in stardom. So I feel like she's entering her memories of when Lana was the star, like Lana peak era, Born to Die era, where she got like, I feel like NFR and Born to Die were like some of her peak eras. So she's kind of talking about those peak times where everything was like great. She had the stardom, but she was stuck. She was stuck in her relationships where she was this nymphomaniac. She tried to love again, right? She tried to be with what you wanted to call a candy necklace, but she longed to be a candy necklace as well. And so she longed to be like this more amazing star that didn't rely on men, like who didn't base her whole thing off of men, which is kind of the concept of Lana Del Rey in the Born to Die era. Guys, I'm so sorry, I'm congested right now. So I sound like very congested.
Sorry.
But that's all I have to say for candy necklace.
Not ratings.
Yes, ratings, of course. 7.4.
I give mine an overall 7.
Oh, okay. I was so specific with these ratings, like 7.4. Where did I even come from that?
I mean, well, yeah, we both have decimals at some point. Like,
decimals.
Tunnel was 7.5 for me.
No, but I had like weird decimals, like just like really random, like not even like round numbers like 5. It was like 7.3, 4.2, like.
At some point, didn't one of us do like a 0.72? I feel like.
Yeah, I've definitely done that multiple times.
At one time, I was like, it's 0.67.
Yeah, because it has to be specific. We're just math.
Oh, if I were being very specific on this, I would say 0.21, 7.21, not just 0.21. So low.
7.21.
Because that feels like candy to me.
Oh, okay. Nice to know. Good to know. Shall we talk about the second interlude?
Yes.
Okay.
John Baptiste interlude.
John Baptiste interlude. So we know that John Baptiste was actually in Candy Necklaces.
Yes.
He played the piano, and he did some background vocals.
And then like the end, that really deep.
Yeah, the Candy Necklaces.
Yeah.
So what do we want to say about this interlude? Go ahead.
It's another one that sounds really hazy.
Yep. And he sings some vocals in this, and then he talks about some stuff.
Does Lana also sing? Like, I think she's like practicing singing a little bit.
Something like that. I didn't really listen to the whole thing. I just looked at like what they were saying.
Yeah. And he keeps saying like you've been, at one point he talks a lot about it feeling heavy, and then like you've been working hard.
Yeah. And
then I think this is like, I'm not even sure what it is, but it's just like hard work. Hard work is at the focus, at least of my analysis of it. And then, what? Okay, so this is the first one that's not about her relationship, the first memory. Okay. It's not about her relationship. This is a memory about her career. And like she works hard in her career, making all this music. Like she has a lot of music.
Yeah, she does. She has a quite large discography.
She does, and then she's working so hard. And then we see in the next song that, the next two songs actually, that not that it doesn't pay off, but like some people, even her own family, don't properly appreciate that work that she puts in. Yeah. She does all this hard work, like recording and filming, writing, singing, all that, and then only for no one to listen.
Yeah,
and
which
then
is heartbreaking.
Yeah, which it is heartbreaking, and that's what I took to be the meaning of this interlude, because it's followed by kintsugi, which is like golden repair.
I think regarding my analysis for this one, I kind of took it as she's finally free. She thinks about how she was not a candy necklace. She was trapped in like the haze of like being with these men, and she's almost finally free with her like newest album. She feels like she can really express herself. So that's kind of what this album is doing. She's kind of saying like, I'm free to almost perish in this Did You Know There's a Tunnel Under Ocean Boulevard era-ish kind of era thing. I don't know. Yeah, that's all I have to say for this.
Lana Del Rey should do an Eras tour.
Yes, she should. She should. Petition to make Lana Del Rey do an Eras tour. But you were talking about Kintsugi, so please elaborate on that. We'd love to hear more.
Okay, so Kintsugi, in my analysis, the word I chose for this is golden repair.
Right.
Because that's what Kintsugi as a concept in terms of pottery is. And then in my analysis, let's see if I can just go back. It's like healing, and she talks about all these things that have really ruined her in the past,
right.
and caused her to break, and the whole breaking is what heals you.
Yeah.
Ultimately.
Yeah.
So like the deaths in her life, and then all of her hard work being ignored by her family.
Yeah.
And then she runs away.
Oh, she runs away.
Well,
How so?
no, not necessarily. She runs away, but like in the song, she's talking about running away a lot.
Yeah.
And that's like running away from her feelings, not letting herself do the whole cracking thing that's gonna heal her.
Yeah.
But then we see she does crack.
Okay.
And then she heals that golden. So this is like, this
Oh.
because we're getting closer to the end of the tunnel here.
Right. We are.
So this is taking all of her memories from the previous songs and letting that crack her, and then being repaired in this golden way, showing that she's ultimately indestructible.
Oh, I like that. Like, she's ultimately indestructible. Since my analysis was really focused on death in the beginning, Kintsugi is the turning point. Kintsugi is the turning point where she lets the small light in. She remembers her family and how, like, they never liked her music, and that's almost inspirational to her. That's inspirational for her to believe, like, to stop caring. And this whole time, like, I feel like the reason that she's felt so much pressure is because she's always cared so much. She's cared, like, to be whatever people tell her to be. So she's, like, been going to this standard. She's been being in those parameters and those lines, and she's done being in those parameters and lines. So she's leaving that. And that's almost what Kintsugi here encapsulates. So now she's focused on repairing herself, and instead of dying, and instead of repairing herself for her family or for whoever she wants to impress, she's preparing herself for who she really is. So in the beginning of Kintsugi, she's like, wait, what's the first lyrics of
Kintsugi.
Oh my god.
I have it like pulled up.
No,
there's a certain point the body can't.
Oh yeah, there's a certain point where the body can't take it. So she's like, now she's like afraid of suicide. She's like, not necessarily afraid, but she's like that burnt out. She feels really, really sick of it, and she's kind of done. And she's like, yeah, there's a certain point where the body can't come back from, and it's like a depressing beginning. And then she kind of says, like, she's trying to tell her story now. So she's like trying to accumulate it into one cohesive story at the end, where she's kind of like considering, like, do I want to commit suicide, or am I done with this? Can I repair myself? Which is what she contemplates with let the light in. That's how the light gets in. Okay.
All
right. Kintsugi rating?
Kintsugi rating, it was 7.5.
For me, it was 8. So yeah, love it. Some of them just had round numbers. Like, they're like the most roundest numbers ever. Like 8.
8 is a very round number.
8 is just a cliched round number. Also, Kintsugi gives 8 vibes.
It gives yellow to me.
It gives me blue.
Really?
Yeah. Well, maybe for goals, that's why.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It's giving like sunshine. Not necessarily sunshine yellow, but just like yellow. The words look yellow.
Yep, they do. They definitely do.
That makes sense. Okay, so the next song is Fingertips.
All right, Fingertips.
Our longest
video
episode.
Go ahead and tell us about Fingertips.
Okay, so my analysis of Fingertips at the time was not great.
No, it was great.
No, it was pretty uninspired though. Like, I feel like I could have done better if I had looked at it again. But that doesn't really matter. The whole point is that Fingertips is the death of Lana Del Rey. Okay. Because that, for me, is the end of the tunnel. And that's the point at which she dies.
Yeah.
Basically, like, she went through this golden repair in terms of her soul inside of her body. And then the outer casing, that sounds so weird. The persona of Lana Del Rey, which was like the mask.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, the mask. The mask, basically, her mask that she was wearing of Lana Del Rey. is shed at this point.
Okay.
Because it's very much about death,
Mm-hmm.
the whole song, and reflection, and all the times that she felt like committing suicide or tried to commit suicide, and then her uncle commits suicide.
Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah. Well, okay, so what did you say?
Well, I mean, in Kintsugi... Okay, I'm excited for this one. Alright, so in Kintsugi, we saw that she was contemplative on whether she would commit suicide or whether she would not commit suicide. And in Fingertips, she ultimately decides that she will not be committing suicide because in the beginning, she considers drugs. She says, chasing fingertips over plastic bags, referencing to cocaine. And then she talks about her... her who committed suicide when she was younger, and how broken she felt when her family and when her uncle Dave, she felt he was doing it and she could not handle it. She was in Monaco. She could not trust herself to live, and that was the whole point of suicide. That was the whole point of Fingertips. She could not trust herself with her heart. She couldn't trust herself with her soul, with her body. She couldn't trust herself to make the right decisions for herself. And that's what she kind of talks about at the end. She needed 2 seconds to be her. So this, once again, like you just said, is the turning point. This is definitely the turning point where she didn't necessarily shed her skin at this point, but she turned into something else at this point. She turned into Lanita, which is what she was when she said, I needed 2 seconds to be me.
Yeah. For me, she sheds the skin of Lana Del Rey. That's such a weird phrase. Whatever. She sheds the Lana Del Rey persona and then exists for a few songs in her raw form with no name and no label, just as this being this person, whoever she is inside, and then whatever name she's going to become or like return to after the tunnel transformation. She doesn't get there yet. At the moment, she's still this raw form with no identity, no title in terms of her identity. She has her identity, but there's no title for it.
Right.
It's like an unnamed document. It's still there. It's still existing. It's still full of whatever you put in the document. It just doesn't have a title yet.
Yeah.
And the title is going to come.
Coming soon.
Yes, coming soon.
Track
11.
Track 11? Wait, what track is that?
Grandfather.
Oh. Is that what's next?
No, next is Paris, Texas.
Okay, but let's talk about our rating for this song. What did you rate it?
7.5.
I rated this song a 9. So we are very different in ratings here. I really love this song a lot. The lyrics, the emotional is amazing, and I really like the melody of this song. It's beautiful. Yeah, that's all I have to say.
Yeah. So, well...
Yeah.
Yeah. I rated it a 7.5. Because that's good for me.
Yeah, because it is.
It could be a 6. No, but it's not a 6. It's a 7.5, and that's good. It's over 5, so it's good.
Yep. Over anything under 5, no. All right. Next song, Paris, Texas. So, go ahead.
Okay, so well, the empty shell of ex-Lana, since there's
snake vibes. Snake vibes.
Not an empty shell necessarily. Actually, the empty shell is the Lana Del Rey that got left behind. And what... In my mind, I'm envisioning like a ball of light. Yeah. But it's not a ball of light, it's a person. The person who existed within Lana Del Rey. Yeah. Who still exists after Lana Del Rey's persona has been killed in Fingertips, is now traveling around looking for home, which she's going to find in Venice, California, but doesn't yet feel that sense of home. Because that's I don't remember exactly the lyrics in the song, but I remember my analysis was that she's still waiting for something to make her feel properly home.
Right. And I can definitely go a lot based off of that. Do you want to say anything else?
No, that's basically my analysis.
Like your shirt.
Oh, thank you.
It's so random.
My analysis is basically that she's this metaphorical ball of light with no name yet, traveling around trying to figure out how to go back home, go back to where she is supposed to be after the transformation of the tunnel and losing the things that weighed her down.
Yeah, so I think pretty much I have a very similar thing going on here. So after she's like, oh, I'm done committing suicide, I'm done like crying for myself, she let the light in finally. She took her advice from Kensuke, and she took 2 seconds to be me, as we saw in the end of the song. Like, she took 2 seconds to be herself. And additionally, then we see that, like, she goes to find herself. So she's going to find Lanita, and she realizes that Lanita is, like, at this place where her baby, like, Jimmy, is at. And she realizes that this Jimmy is going to be in VB. So she goes to VB, but Jimmy is not there. And that's all I have for Paris, Texas.
Wait, did I mention the fact that she just got out of the tunnel? Yeah.
I mean, so I feel like that's quite obvious.
Pretty much obvious. But just to clarify, Fingertips is the end of the tunnel. That's when she leaves.
Yeah.
Having transformed.
Right.
So our rankings of this song?
Our rankings of this song.
I give it a name. Okay.
I'm going to give this song a 6.5. I love how, like, starkly different our rankings are, which is what makes it so unique, because everyone likes different songs differently. But yeah, there you go.
I just like the melody of this one.
I don't like, I do, but like, I don't think I like it. Like, there was a point where I was like, oh, Paris, Texas is really, really good, but I feel like it got old for me fast.
I want garlic.
Like, quick. Huh?
Sorry. I said I want garlic, but
I can make garlic toast.
No.
Okay.
Well,
are you sure?
Chewing gum.
I can make garlic toast later on, after we're done filming the episode. we have cheesy garlic toast. Do you want some? You want some? Okay, I'll make
Oh my god.
All right. You don't need to answer the question. I will make it for you. Yeah. All right.
Anyways, you said it got old for you?
Yeah, it did get quite old for me.
I could see that.
Shall we move to grandfather?
Okay, grandfather.
Okay, grandfather. Time for grandfathers.
Grandfather.
Okay. Grandfather is the representation of a spiritual transformation, which is what we talked about with the 3 white butterflies. So here, now that she's here, she's focusing on herself. She's focusing on transforming into Lanita, even though her baby's not there. So, yeah, leaving behind Lana, basically. Shedding her skin now. Shedding her skin
so now she sheds her skin.
In my analysis, yeah.
I like...
Go ahead.
I could see that. For me, grandfather, the butterflies.
That sounded like such a New Jersey water.
I know, New Jersey water. I don't know why. The butterflies that you were talking about as spiritual transformation.
Yeah.
I took their meaning as wisdom, because like there have very many.
Yeah, you talked about wisdom.
Symbolic meanings in mythology and spirituality over the cultures and times.
Precisely.
But I took the theme of wisdom from them, and then the whole point of grandfather is like, now that she's home in terms of physical location, as we saw with Paris, Texas, she's in Venice Beach, Venice, California, but she still doesn't feel that sense of home. Now she's calling out to Lizzie. She's calling out to Lizzie and like asking her to impart wisdom and basically come back. So this is when she's like getting the new persona that she's going to be in.
Oh, okay.
Because for grandfather, my whole thing was like, gotta go back now. She's saying to Lizzie, give me signs so that I know that somewhere
butterflies to know you
within me, somewhere deep inside, like I still have Lizzie Grant there waiting. So this is her like making that first communication with Lizzie Grant that she's ignored after all these years, and that's gonna be her
because
new.
She's kind of pushed that persona of hers away. So
as a protection method.
Yeah, precisely. And then she's bringing that back. Now let's talk about our rating for this song.
Rating? I have 8, but I know you don't like
6.
Yeah.
Once again, we are very different in music taste.
Yes.
And somehow we still both like Lana Del Rey, which is a miracle.
And Taylor Swift.
And Taylor Swift, of course. Taylor Swift. We're coming for you next, Taylor. We do like the same songs.
We're going for you.
Are you ready for it? You know, I was watching the Eras Tour like stream with my sister yesterday. I took her iPad and I was watching it. And I started like crying. Like first off, she started singing "Cruel Summer," and I start going. And my sister's like sitting there like, what's going on?
I love that song.
It's a cool summer. No, but oh my god,
That song was my
bad.
everything in 6th grade.
No, it was my everything all the
Like, all
time. No, actually 7th grade. 7th grade is when that song totally slapped. And it still does.
My 7th grade music taste is something we don't talk about.
Yeah, same here. I like TikTokers.
I like the
not
theme
to say that
song
they're bad, but
of a TV show. That was like my
Liv
music
and
taste.
Maddie?
No. Wait, what?
You said yeah, and I said that's
It was
so
the
random,
theme
though.
song from this historical fiction World War II drama called Home Fires. And the theme song is called Sirens, and it's like beautifully transfixing. I love it.
Wait, is it like an adult show or is it?
Yeah, it's like an adult show.
Okay.
I will play you this song because God, I was so obsessed.
Wait, do we need to take a moment to play this song?
We might.
Okay.
Okay.
We're back.
We'll be back. Okay, we're back.
Yeah, that was it was very regular.
You
for
can
me.
be honest.
No, I mean I felt like it was like any other song. Like I didn't see like the uniqueness of it, but I can see how it could be addicting to you because you like orchestral pieces.
Yes, and choral.
And like choir ethereal pieces while I like trap music. Alas.
Anyways, where were we?
Yeah, where were we? No, we need to move on to the next song.
Yeah, okay.
Let the light in. I'm so excited for this one. Okay,
so what why don't you say?
No, you go first.
No, because mine is actually trash.
Okay, fine. So Lana finds a lover. And I think, okay, this part is like the coolest analysis I feel like I've done yet, because this is where the whole album like brings it up like a good amount. Like this album like takes a turn and it becomes so dope, honestly. So basically Lana finds a lover. But I think there's a reason why they can't be in love. This could be due to a queer relationship, which is quite theorized based on a lot of lyrics that she has. But it could just be in any circumstance where she can't love a certain person because it might be bringing up that Lana personality again, or she just feels like she can't love a certain person. And I remember when we originally analyzed this song, I did not think this, but now I do believe this. I believe that the person singing "Let the Light In" is not Lana. It's the person who loves her. And the person who loves her is saying, hey, you came out of that tunnel now, like you're done with the tunnel, but you still can't let me in because you don't want to revert back. Like, why are you closing me off now? Like, you need to change, right? Like, if you're changing, you should be able to let me in. And that's where she's like, at your back door begging because I want to come in. And it's like a really sweet like love song, but she won't be able to. Oh, I spilled water all over my pants. But you can't let her in. Now, I also have another theory for this song.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm talking a lot about theories now.
We love conspiracy theories on this.
Okay, so additionally, I think that it's not only her lover who's singing this song, but I feel like there are points where Lanita also sings this song to Lana. She's like saying like, let me in now, let this personality of you in, let me take over you, let me like transform you, in context to Grandfather because it was a previous song, so it's like telling like this whole like cute little story. Anyway, yeah, that's all I have to say for this.
Oh, I like that. Mine, as you remember, mine Let the Light In analysis was not quite yours. It was unrequited.
I mean, it came up to be like kind of similar, but
yeah, mine was like unrequited. And for my analysis, it's like Lana Del Rey gets out of the tunnel. Well, not Lana Del Rey. Yeah. Sorry, Lizzie. Or not
whoever
gets out of the tunnel. Whoever gets out of the tunnel and is now like, the light has come in to her life. Yeah. And so she does find someone, and she tries to like make she's trying to like preach letting the light in to fix her, and she finds this relationship that's unrequited, as I analyzed before, and she tries to make this relationship work with her new persona, and she's like, okay, come on, let the light in, let me be your light, because like I found the light and it was an amazing transformation, and it's much better now, but it just doesn't work out, and we're gonna see that in the next thingy.
And I would also like to talk about the fact that there's like the one lyric in Let the Light In where she's like where she says like, I still like lie in your head, like put the candles on, get back into bed, lie in your head or something, which I mean, well, she says lay your head, but I feel like she's talking about, and I said this previously, but I feel like she's talking to Lana, who's saying, like, the image of me still lays in your head, even though you broke it off with me. Like, I know you're still in love with me. That's what this person is saying to Lana. Like, I know you think about me. I know that you're in love with me. Like, I bet you think about me. Say, oh my gosh. She's gonna say, anyway. Like, she's just saying that, and I want to really think that it's a queer relationship, but it could be anything, honestly. And, it's just the fact of the matter that they can't be in love, and even though that they are in love, they can't, because Lana keeps denying it. She says, like, oh, we have so much riding on this life, and Lana's like, I'm trying to rebuild it. Don't, like, be in an affliction with me. So yeah, that's all I have for that.
The same analog.
Yeah.
And well, lyric you were talking about. I analyzed it very differently. I had it as like that call and response sort of thing, which fed into the whole unrequited. And her trying to preach this concept of letting the light in doesn't work. No, I mean, I can see that too, because if they're unable to let the light in, they're not able to, like, blossom their love or whatever, which we see in Crimson and Clover, in VBTTVBX, whatever. I can't even think. What was your rating of Let the Light In?
8.5.
Oh, that's good. I said 7.
Oh, I really like this song, because, like, the part where it's like, cause I love to love you. I hate to hate you. Put the Beatles song. That's so pretty to me. I love it. And this song was and the part is like, take you up around 1:45. Usually we got nothing to do. Screw it.
Her voice is so sweet. It's like so.
Yeah.
So.
Literally,
know, like how to call it. It's like a full sound, but it's quiet.
Yeah, precisely. And it's like, I don't know. I don't. Yeah. I mean,
I don't even know. Like something about the way she sings. Like it's coming from the roof of her mouth and her tongue. Yeah. I don't even know how to explain it.
Okay. Next song.
Next song. Margaret.
Oh my god.
I love my analysis of this one.
Yes, I do like your analysis of this, because it gives love triangle. It kind of is a love triangle, but not really. It's just a queer love triangle. That's a good way of putting it.
Because if you miss my analysis, it's basically that the singer, who is Lana, is in love with Margaret, who is engaged to someone else, and at the same time that someone else was falling for Margaret, Lana was falling too. And in this. This is like after that relationship that didn't work because the other person didn't let the light in. At least for my analysis. She meets Margaret, and then like when you know, this is another turning point in her whole journey. Is like this may be the first time that she's experienced it or not. I don't know, but like this, when you know you found someone who you love. That's
right. When you know, kind of makes you laugh running down that path. And I really love the like where you would analyze that line, especially.
The amount of times that I talk to like people over my time who have like laughed at themselves because they fell for a straight girl. Quite apparent as a mistake. Probably like a dozen people.
Yeah, a lot of people do that. We did ratings of Margaret.
What was your analysis?
Oh my god, I didn't even talk, because my analysis is so basic. Like, I wrote like 2 lines. But basically, Lana is seeing this beautiful couple in love, and she's missing her own love, and that's all it is. Because I couldn't take it in any other context. I couldn't. So yeah, that's how I left it. Anyway, anything to say? Do you want to say any final comments on Margaret?
No, I'm basically done.
Okay.
Rankings.
Rankings. I gave this a 7.8.
8.5.
Oh, okay.
I like this song.
Alright, I mean, I feel like those are good ratings anyway. Moving on.
Fishtail. Your analysis of this was so good.
No, it wasn't.
It
sucked. I actually changed my whole analysis just for this video.
Really?
Yeah, I changed everything for this video. Anyway.
I think I also changed my fishtail. Did I? No, I don't know.
Well, I think yours, yours is nice too because it had some, like, great components of it.
No, I actually sat for, like, 10 minutes trying to even remember what I said in my analysis of this chat.
I couldn't even remember it.
I was like, God, am I gonna have to go search up the YouTube video and listen to myself talk for an hour?
No!
But I just found the notebook that I analyzed it in.
Yeah.
So we were all good.
Yeah, we were all good. We were all good with that. Where should we start with this? Because, we can start by... do you want to go ahead, or should I go ahead?
You can go ahead if you want. I'm very curious to see your new analysis. Because I like your old analysis with the whole Game of Thrones.
No. So, I think
was this Game of Thrones?
I don't even remember.
I don't know.
But I believe we watched a video right after we filmed our video. And it was like therapist reacts to like Fishtail by Lana Del Rey or something like that. We just saw it come up on our For You page. The Bookbinders also have a For You page. And we started watching like the first half of the video. And I remember like reading through the comments and somebody was like, oh yeah, I think this is about the fans. So my whole perspective on this song changed. And now I've been thinking about it like, oh yeah, it's about the fans. It's about how the fans treat Lana. So I can't really think of it in any other way now. Except like how the fans treat Lana. And regarding that, it's talking about how the fans previously loved Lana when Lana was Lana, but now as she transitions into something else, she kind of misses that love that they used to give her. And she's upset that it's like going away, and she wishes that the media did like misrepresent her and like make assumptions about her story and stuff. And, like she's just like, oh, don't you dare like suck up to me even when I know you're opposed to me or whatever.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
I can definitely see that.
Okay.
And now that you mentioned the fans, like that's a very good point.
So what did you think? Because mine is like a deadbeat analysis.
Mine is even worse. No.
I think this song we were just not gonna analyze it yet.
Yeah, no. The early analyses were questionable.
Yeah, they're kind of.
This one was very early, but this is basically like, regardless of what the whole "You Wanted Me Sadder" part is, it's basically what I took from this song was like she's learning from the past, based on the positioning of it.
Yeah,
she learns from the past, and her final lines are, "I've got things to say."
Yeah.
That's what it is, right? Yeah, I've got things to say, and so she like learns from the past and accepts the power of, I've got things to say.
Right.
In this new,
that came to mind too.
In this new persona, regardless of whether she's talking to the fans or to this fictional man, it makes a lot more sense if she's talking to fans actually. So we're gonna say that.
Okay.
But then she finds this power of like talking or like sharing her story. Sharing her story is going to be very, very important.
Okay, that's that.
Ratings.
Go ahead.
6.5.
Yo, I had the exact same rating.
Yeah.
So I mean, we're together on that. Moving on to the next song because we stuck on Fishtail for so long. And guess what's coming next? Peppers.
Oh my god.
This song. Peppers is amazing. Anyway, too good.
The analysis of this.
And your analysis came to mind because I forgot my whole analysis. I'm going solely based off of your analysis because your analysis was that good. Go ahead.
Okay, so for this we have officially declared it a bi-anthem.
Yes, it's a bi-anthem.
We did.
That's the point.
But basically, this whole thing is about like embracing yourself and being yourself.
Right, yeah.
And so, based on the positioning of this is like her embracing herself and the new things she's seeing in herself in this new format, and like don't be afraid to try new things because you're a new person. You don't have to stay in whatever realm Lana was stuck in. That's why you hit a wall and needed to go through this tunnel to transform.
I love that. That's beautiful, and I think it has a great meaning to it, great inspirational meaning. However, I took this in like, because we were talking about the queer relationship and Let the Light In. That's why I kind of assumed that it was something like that. She is almost reclaiming her personality as Lanita, because I feel like this is such a Lanita song. Oh my gosh, the one moment I'm talking. Additionally, she's reclaiming the fact that she can have her love with whoever she wants, and she doesn't even care anymore. She can have this love with a boyfriend, or she can have a love with anybody else she wants. And also, guess what happened?
What?
I figured out the dog lyric.
Oh my god, no way.
I figured it out. Okay. Are you ready for this, you guys?
Yes.
After so long, we figured out the dog lyric, which is the lyric like, how does it go?
I got a dog, I take it for a midnight drive, a midnight drive.
So basically, she is hiding the fact that she's going to her perhaps female lover's house by saying that she's taking her dog on a midnight walk. That's what she's saying with this lyric. She's hiding the fact that she is taking her dog on a midnight walk by... Well, she's hiding the fact that she's going to her lover's house, like, in the middle of the night by taking her dog on this, like, midnight walk. It's like a setup, and my setup's good. I don't have much to say. I've got a dog. I take it for... Like, that whole setup, right? That's what she set up.
Oh my god, no, it's too good.
We figured it out. We did it.
Oh, wow. It's perfect.
Amazing. Okay.
Song ranking? 10 out of 10.
Song ranking. Wait, hold on. Yeah. Wait, what was I contemplating? Yeah, so this song is a 9.5 out of 10 for me. Yeah.
The dog lyric no longer is ridiculous.
No, it's no longer ridiculous. It makes sense. Finally.
Now we can't call weird lyrics dog lyrics.
Now we can't call weird lyrics dog lyrics. Let's go. Okay. Well, we could call it the eyes lyrics.
Yeah. No,
astral body.
Put it into why?
I was writing a line the other day. I think I said it too. It's like a string of blood dripped down into my eye. Oh my god, ew, it's grotesque. But I want to keep that line.
You should.
I'm keeping it so I can like weird out everybody.
Keep the grotesque weird lines.
Hey, you know, I was thinking about that like while Olivia Rodrigo announced her new song yesterday. But it's called Vampires. So I was like thinking about it.
When I was writing, they burnt a baby. Oh, I mean, it was a dead baby, but it was fine.
What?
Yeah, they cloned someone, and then the thingy died, so they like burnt it. Incinerator. It is dark.
Okay.
That's what happens in science. Yikes. Anyways.
Okay, this is why we should write sci-fi. Anyway, next lyric. TTXVB.
Oh my gosh.
Welcome to TTXVB.
We made it.
Songs. We made it to the very last track off of this album. Guys, we are almost done. It is so... we didn't even get a cupcake, Charlotte. We said we were going to get a cupcake. Okay. We are sitting in like the middle of my living room not doing anything. But I'll make you cheesy toast now.
Oh my gosh, that's our cupcake. Garlic cupcakes.
That's the cupcake. So, take it away.
All right. So you know, it's a nod back to the past.
Yeah.
We see through this whole song, and since we analyzed it together, the difference between the two songs.
Mm-hmm.
She is changed, and yet she hasn't. So there's like, she remains intact as a person. She still is there. She's still herself.
Uh-huh.
That's basically what the whole thing is, except in the new VB, we see she's an improved version. This is gonna sound weird. She's the taco truck version now.
Yeah.
And even though we didn't necessarily like the new song better, it's just like this change, this improvement of situations where now she has power. The power that she got from Fishtail and from changing and from embracing herself. Now she has that power in this situation.
Okay, I would like to say that I always like the OG, like, especially regarding this song, I like the OG better than I like this song way more. Like, that song is like a 40 out of like 1. If it was 1, it would be like a 20 million gazillion. Like, it is like beyond amazing. But regarding this song, I kind of just thought it was like her saying like, hey, I don't even need a relationship. I don't need my baby back in VB. And I don't need anybody to, like, be with me. All I need is Lanita, which shows her transformation of Lanita. She's like, read my gold necklace. It says Lanita. And, like, when I get down on Bonita, whatever that she says there implies that she no longer needs it. And I feel like in the end, it's kind of leaving you with this bittersweet ending. Because in the end of the song, she's like, signing off, bang, bang, kiss, kiss. So I feel like it's ultimately just reverting back to her suicidal ways, which I know is super dark. But I feel like it makes the whole thing pointless. And I kind of love it like that. Like, I kind of love it like that, where she really tried to change. Like, but she was so afraid, not to Lana Del Rey lyrics, but like, you know, like there's no easy way to come back from where you came, quoting the genius herself. And, you know, I just feel like she's kind of signing off bang, bang, kiss, kiss, ultimately. And it's just like, it's like a once and for all. Like, she really tried to become Lanita, but people just ended up hating Lanita even more. So this is like a message to the media that she is, for once and for all, signing off.
Wow.
I wanted to end it dark. I don't know why I did, but I did. So
I think it's a perfect ending. Ultimately, I mean, not perfect, but like perfect considering the album and the...
Yeah, perhaps. I really did not want to end it on a dark note. But here we are. So, yeah, that's the ending. Anything else you'd like to say about the last track?
Well, rankings. That's basically...
Yes, ratings. Ratings for this track. What did you rate it?
I have it at 8.5.
I have it at 8.9. Because it's not a 9, but it's not anywhere near, like, lower. So it's like 8.9 for me. But yeah, beautiful track. But I can't help but say that the OG was better.
Yeah, that's why it's an 8.5 for me and not like higher, because the OG is like,
I feel like the guitars, like VB is the best song ever because of the guitar solo and because of the amazing vocals and the amazing verses. Like, if she added like another new verse, like something more about Norman Rockwell, I mean, which kind of defeats the point because the song is not necessarily about Norman Rockwell, but I mean, I would have really liked for it to have another beautiful, beautiful verse because the verses are so amazing in that song. Alas, now we have come to the final, like, top everything, like where everything goes in order. So, shall we start?
Okay.
Let's start with our 14.
14.
What was your 14?
The Grants.
The Grants.
Yeah, the Grants. I'm sorry, but it was just
it's gonna go to the Grants. 13.
13 I had... What did I have? I had Candy Necklace.
Oh, okay. 13 for me is Grandfather. Yeah. Okay, 12.
Yeah, I was like, what comes next? It's 12. The next thing that I had was... It was... Kintsugi, I think.
Oh, okay. Kintsugi was a lot higher for me, so...
Actually, no, it was Sweet. Sorry, it was Sweet.
Oh!
Yeah.
Oh, okay. For me, it was Fishtail. This is so odd because these are like some of my top songs. Okay, 11.
11, that was Fishtail.
Paris, Texas. 10.
Kintsugi. No, what did I say? Sweet.
Title track.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
9.
Title track.
Candy Necklace. 8.
Fingertips.
Margaret. Okay. 7.
Let the Light In.
Kintsugi. Okay, 6.
6 for me was Paris, Texas.
Okay. And for me it was Sweet. 5.
5 was Margaret.
No,
No, Grandfather.
Is it so hard for you to tell?
No, because like I didn't make a list. I just put the rankings in like a whole slew of numbers.
Oh, okay.
It was
Wait,
Grandfather.
so your 5 was Grandfather?
Grandfather.
Mine is Let the Light In. Wait, where did your Let the Light In fall?
Like 7?
Yeah, that's pretty good. And then 4.
4. What about it? It was Paris, Texas.
TTXVV. I know it's kind of low, but the other songs about that are better. Okay, 3.
But I must have said Paris, Texas twice.
Did you?
I think so.
Okay.
4 was Margaret.
Oh, okay.
And then 3, TTXVB.
4, 3, Fingertips.
2.
2, Peppers.
Peppers also.
And I mean, we probably have the same one, but
Yeah.
Yeah. So we agreed that
Our favorite
our favorite is AW, and our second
the only
favorite
one we
is
didn't
Peppers.
analyze.
Yeah, the only one we didn't analyze is our favorite
Number
one. And I mean, we agree on 2.
Peppers, yeah.
Wait, where did your Fingertips fall?
Oh, I don't even know. It was pretty low. Like 9?
Okay. Yeah. So my Fingertips is 3. It went all the way up. But yeah, that's what we have. Also, if you guys want a Midnight's ranking, we could do one specific random episode where we just talk about our Midnight's ranking. Because it's kind of fun to do these rankings.
We can go through all of our old Midnight's rankings and like judge ourselves.
And like judge ourselves badly. Because I don't know why we put Snow on the Beach like so high up. Just because it was Lana.
And she wasn't even there.
Yeah, and she was barely even there. So we probably shouldn't have kept her so high up. But
okay.
Oh my god, it's the end. Oh
wait, did you want to talk about title?
Oh, the title, of course, the title.
You have so much to talk about. Wait. Okay,
let's first go over the title.
So, as we talked about, it's a question.
It's a question.
So
why don't you explain that?
Okay, so since it's a question, this is like her conversation opener, like a conversation to the fans or to all people.
Yeah.
Because in the title track, I talked about the fact that it seems like everyone has a tunnel they can transform themselves in. And so she's, by asking, did you know that there's a tunnel? Like, hey, there's a tunnel there. She's like, here's my story with the tunnel, almost encouraging people inadvertently to go through their own tunnel of transformation.
Oh, okay. I find that interesting. So, my, definition for it being a question is, almost like she's telling a story. I feel like this is, way after in her life when she's, 60, 70. A bunch of kids are gathered around and, she's an old grandma, telling a story, oh, did you guys know there's, the tunnel at Ocean Boulevard?
Yeah, and then
she can't tell them. She can't tell, little kids definitely that story, but it could be, a cute little Hansel and Gretel type story.
Yeah. That's what I said,
that's kind of what it is.
You can see story.
Story. Okay.
So,
anything else?
We had average, and then did you have a one word for the whole album?
Not really, because it's all over the place. What was your one word, though?
My one word was actually a phrase that was inspired by Fine China, which is an unreleased song. I don't know when it's from. But the lyric is, one love begins, another comes undone. But for this, I have one life comes undone, another begins. Symbolic of that transformation.
I like that. It's very deep.
Not really.
I don't really have a one word, so because I feel like this album was a lot to take in, and unlike a lot of the other albums, I feel like this album talks a lot about a really long story, so you can't really sum up a story with one word. But I can tell you my average was a 7.7 out of 10.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
My average, when I just did it thinking, was a 7 out of 10, and then I took all the averages of all the songs and averaged it, and it came to a 6.625.
Oh.
So basically, they were close.
Okay. My actual average was a 7.7. It just ended up being that. But I definitely agree with my average. I think 7.7 is very accurate to how I think perceive this album.
I would agree. For my average, too. 7.
Okay. That's the last episode. Stay tuned for Midnights because we are about to put out a new Midnights episode tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be so exciting. We're starting with You're On Your Own Kid. It is going to be, 22 minutes. Okay. It's going to be epic. So stay tuned for Midnights and comment down below any other Midnight songs you want us to analyze. Additionally, any other songs in general you want us to analyze or any books, poetry, anything else in general. And yeah.
Always be overthinking.
Yes, always be overthinking and stay tuned.
Yes, definitely stay tuned.
Farewell.